welcome back to yet another walk around video of the tin can, also known as the Maruti Suzuki Baleno, also known as the Glenza, also known as the rebadged twin. Here, before getting on with it, why are we covering this? Because this is the last car that is using the K12V motor, and now most of them have that stupid dual injection. So before getting on with it, let's start with the design. Well, the design might remind you of the Swift, a bulked up version of the same, as if Swift went into the gym and got bigger. So the first things first, this car's headlamps remind you of the first generation of the Swift, which used to get this triangular treatment over there. That's your fog lamp housing. This is the grille. The design hadn't changed much in the facelift as well, although projectors were added from the second lower variant, and then eventually Maruti gave it a huge refresh, and the Baleno looks fresher and is tougher than before, pun intended. Alright, moving on to the side, the bulbous profile of the Baleno is quite evident. It looks like a very big, strong, bulky car, which it is not, as apparent from a lot of crashes that we've seen happen over the years. Okay, you've got 15-inch rims with steel caps on this variant, with plastic caps on this variant. However, higher variants used to get 16-inch rims with alloys. That is the case even today. You've got your blinker on the mirror. The mirror has been mounted not on the apron but on the door, again aiding some aerodynamics. You've got chrome finished door handles. This car also has the optional accessories that are there. People are looking at me and I'm going crazy here. Again, moving on to the side, you've got 4 parking sensors. No reverse camera on this variant. However, the housing is visible right here, and you've got your defogger and the wiper as well. Now, back then, when Maruti was offering 4 variants, the Sigma, Delta, the Zeta and the Alpha, all variants from Delta, Zeta and Alpha got the defogger and the rear wash wipe, which is now a glaring omission, sadly. But car makers have this trend of making things weird for themselves here, in the name of pricing efficiency. All right, now you've got this boot. This is around 350 odd liters. The boot carrying capacity is still the same, although, and you don't have a light over here. Higher variants used to get a light as well. The parcel tray is removable, and I'll not remove it right now because my hands will get dirty. Yeah, you've also got a handle to hold on to grab and shut this boot. The boot is nicely shaped. However, the only big problem that is the loading lip is quite high, so you need to lift your stuff up to get something in. The tail lights get these sort of LEDs over here as brake lights. You've got your halogen setup for the indicator and the reversing light. However, today, as you might have seen, the Baleno gets DRLs at the back as well, so that's a good addition. You've got your spoiler, which looks kind of cool and makes the back look really aerodynamic. Along with that, you've got this chrome tip over here, which I'm not sure looks so good or not, but it is there nonetheless. You've got the fuel tank housing over here, and now let's check out the boots. Check out the rear space. Excuse for the jacket lying down there. All right, so Baleno is quite big, and it has always been the most spacious car in this segment. Although Altroz and the even the newer generation Baleno, they have not compromised in space, for that matter. All right, so you've got your bottle holder over here. Typical Maruti interior. This is the first glimpse of the all black cabin. You've got a generous amount of knee room, and leg room is okayish. But however, I am sitting up in my knees are like way up, and there's lack of thigh support. I am 6'6", so obviously fitting issues here and there, but I'm comfortable nonetheless. I've got a good amount of headroom, and even though headrests here are adjustable, you don't have any armrest back here. However, that would have been a good addition. You've got a cup bottle holder over here. In higher variants, you get the you get the central armrest for the front passengers as well. with a lot of storage underneath. However, this is okay. You've got a 12-volt charging socket over here, which is currently housing the ambient light, or as it is present in this rental. And yeah, all in all, the black cabin though makes it feel a bit hot on summer days. However, the car is really spacious. It is airy. The windows are nice and large. You've got a quarter glass over there as well, which is another, which lets in a bit more light. And yeah, pretty much your standard backseat affair. Shoulder room 3 abreast will be a bit tight. However, 2 people in utmost comfort, bang on. The Baleno can do it easily. Alright, let's move on to the front, and that's where most of the interesting part lies. Again, this is the shark, not high variants get shark fin antennas. This one has a bit of some kind of a dysfunction. I hope you know what I mean. Okay, alright, so here onto the front seats, and as you can see, the car is just dreary in a pool of black with a few silver accents here and there. You've got chrome colored door handles, another bottle holder, some side pockets to hold some stuff. Again, nothing much over there. Alright, you've got a decent sized glove box. This one is illuminated and cooled as well in higher variants. However, this being the Delta trim does not get that does not get those features right now. Your 2-din infotainment system. You've got automatic climate control from the Delta variant, which was a boon back then. This is your manually dimming IRVM. You've got two map lights over here. Another central light over here that lights up when you are like doing anything, right? When you open the door or something. Then this is your instrument panel. The standard Suzuki steering wheel, as we've been seeing over the years. However, now it has changed. But yeah, this was the staple for Maruti from the second generation Swift till about the last cars to be sold with this one. Okay, moving on to the side, let's turn her on, and sorry, that sounded wrong. Let's turn her on and let's see as to what all does this car have to offer. Yeah, sorry for the so I'll just lower the AC a bit. Okay, so standard affair, nothing very special. However, one thing is that this one does not get the inflated information panel that is found in the Alpha and the Zeta variants. Here you cannot see the torque curve and the power curve. However, all you've got is a pretty basic MID with dual trip meters, your average efficiency and everything. And this car has done around 30,000 kilometers in 8 years, which is quite low for a petrol car. And that's your RPM meter, that's the speedometer. Pretty standard layout of the functions. And this one here is compatible with Bluetooth, aux-in and USB as well, so you can play whatever you feel like. Let's check the audio quality. The AC works pretty decently as well. Maruti ACs are work they have been fine all through the years, and the same is the case with the Baleno. However, one gripe will be this black color, which gets in and traps a lot of heat. This is better in the Glanza, wherein you get a dual tone interior, and it certainly looks nicer than the standard one single tone finish. Alright, let's do an audio quality check, and let's see. Okay. Okay, so the audio quality is pretty decent, and yeah, nothing much to talk about, although that's like very boomy and everything, so you can change the settings over there. Alright, so basic switchgear borrowed from all Marutis. You've got your 4 power windows, lock unlock button. This is for restricting others access to the mirrors. You've got auto folding mirrors. However, these do not get the function of folding with the key. That is available in the higher variants. You've got your parking sensor button over there. This is the headlamp dimming switch. A bit of features are missing because this not being the top variant again. these are the light controls. These are the controls for your wipers and the rear wiper as well. The front wipers work decently well with a good amount of spray, and the rear wiper also is working absolutely fine. Yeah, so that's how it is. And the sun visor, yeah, the sun visor is pretty big. However, no light placement over here. You've got a ticket holder over here, however no light placement. And you've got 12-volt charging socket again up front as well. This is for the USB in and the aux input. You've got a 5-speed manual gearbox. Alright, one more thing, the newer car, the higher variants come with the SmartPlay infotainment system that get the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. And all in all, pretty spacious. The front seats though are pretty nice. The amount of adjusting and everything done is pretty decent. However, again, the lack of under thigh support, and also the fact that I cannot move my knees when I cannot move the steering wheel if I sit upright. So that is again an issue for taller passengers. However, anyone average height or anyone below 6 feet will never find an issue with the Baleno, which in fact is a very spacious all-round car and does really well on those accounts wherein it matters the most. Alright, we'll be driving the Baleno in the next video. Till then, stay tuned. And yeah, बस इतना ही है भाई. Alright, these are pretty bright, and I'll also show you a raat ka view in 3, 2, 1. So here is how it looks at night. So we're just gonna turn on the lights. As you can see, you've got red ambient lighting all around. Earlier on it was orange for all Suzuki cars, and since this looks a bit dull, the owner has added some lights. Purple is the color of choice, and it makes the very dark cabin, look a bit cool. So that's it, and see you in the driving wala vlog.